So my neighbors just knocked on the door because they thought they saw aliens in the sky. Alcohol does some funny things to you. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin, and today we are listening to Emerson, Lake and Palmer, ELP, with their song Take a Pebble off of their self-titled, which was released in 1970. Last time I had visited ELP with the Barbarian, and that warrior has pretty much smashed my face in. So a lot of you guys have been asking me and requesting, for example, the song Tarkus, which is one of their epics, 20 minutes or whatever, and I promise like one day I will get to it. But as of right now, I've only heard 2 songs from ELP. I like to get an understanding of the band and of their sound before I just jump right into their epics. I did that with Genesis, I listened to Trick of the Tail, and then I went on to Foxtrot, ending in Supper's Ready. I did that with Yes and going for the one into Awaken, and then eventually Close to the Edge, and then through Relayer. So as of right now, I've only heard 2 songs from ELP. I want to get a little bit more understanding from them and of their sound before I get into bigger songs and longer songs like Tarkus. Anyways, hope that all makes sense. You guys can join me on Twitter. You can join me in the comments down below, and let's do it. This is Take a Pebble by ELP.
Just take a pebble and cast it to the sea. Then watch the ripples that unfold into me. My face spills so gently into your eyes, disturbing the waters of our lives. Shreds of our memories are lying on your grass. Wounded words of laughter are graveyards of the past. Photographs are gray and torn, scattered in your fields. Letters of your memories are not real. heaviness on your shoulders, like a worn-out overcoat. In pockets creased and tattered, hang the rags of your hopes. The daybreak is your midnight. The colors have all died, disturbing the waters of our lives, of our lives, 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 of our lives.
This was such an interesting song from ELP. I don't know where to begin on this, and this is one of the hardest things about first listens, is that I already know I need another listen of this song. But I have to say, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys will agree, that Emerson on the piano is the star on this song. I mean, they all are amazing, but I'm very wowed, not only by the obvious technical skills that he's incorporating while he's playing the piano, as well as even the emotional value. And there's a lot of emotion packed into this, especially like even in just the very extended instrumental break that takes up the duration of like the middle of the song. There's a lot of emotions and rises and falls in that moment, or in that whole section, which is the majority of the song. It's not really a section, but the song really it really breathes. It's super fluid in the way that it moves. It's so quiet and delicate when it gets into that moment with the sound effects of the water dripping. It's like being isolated in a cave and just listening to the water drops, falling from the cave, from the stalagmites or whatever they're called, into the pool below. Like, that's what I kind of see and that's what I kind of hear. And then the music reflects that as it gently plays, it gently inhales. And then the song would build up in its intensity once again. And it would really go through all these movements just really well. Not only was it the emotional and the technical prowess that is impressing me, but it's how tasteful it's all done. It's very complicated. I'm not a pianist, but from what I can tell, it's very complicated and very detailed the way that he's playing. But I don't feel like this song felt is it pretentious maybe? Or overindulgent, whatever word you want to use. I didn't feel like it came off that way. It actually just works the whole way through. Now, I'll admit that, like I said, first listens are hard, because at a certain point, I didn't really know where the song was going, and I didn't know if I was losing interest as I was going, or if I was getting bored, which is weird, because after I finished the song, I'm like, no, I definitely wasn't bored with the song. It's just hard on a first listen because you don't know where the song's going, so you don't know what to expect. And I guess my expectations were something different than what I got. But I was happy with what I got, I love this, I'm pretty sure that's the guitar doing the vroom, just playing across the strings. I like that. It's very zesty. Just the way that he plays it. I love that the way it opens, it gives it kind of, to me, it kind of sounds, is it a zither? I think it's a zither. I think that's the instrument I'm thinking of. It reminds me of the zither a little bit, in just the way it opens up, which gives it this kind of I don't know, not fairy tale-ish, but, something like that. It kind of gives it that feeling of a storybook opening. And most of their storytelling is done through the instruments and not necessarily the vocals. Even though, from what I was kind of reading of the lyrics, it does seem that there's at least some sort of meaning behind it. I really enjoy the singing as well from Greg. Really, really nice voice. I could listen to that voice. That's the type that I like. And then the drumming is so fantastic from Palmer. Very jazz inspired, and then of course, fusion and inspired as well, but just sounds so classy, And the whole song and kind of what I'm kind of feeling, I know based on my 3 songs now that I've heard, is that they're progressive, of course, but they're almost progressive, and then their roots are taken from classical music and jazz. Am I kind of like close at least on that? Because that's what I feel. Like I actually feel there's a lot of like definitely the classical elements, especially from the Barbarian, but there's even a lot of jazz influence here that I feel. Like this section here, close to the ending of the song, it's like it's a perfect like meld of jazz and classical. I love if we go back to the middle of the song right here. The guitar playing is just like, it just kind of grabs your soul a little bit, doesn't it? Like it's very emotional and very impactful. And it's not necessarily even about how many notes they play in that. It's about what they don't play. It's about the negative space of the music. And I love that. It kind of reminds me, in a sense, of Echoes from Pink Floyd. It's not necessarily about what the music that they put in those sections. It's about the music and the sounds they remove from those sections that makes it what it is. And how out of nowhere was this? But how much did it work? When it got almost into like, I don't want to say bluegrass, but like a folky kind of like upbeat hootenanny kind of feeling. But you know what? It works. It works. It's like a very like inspiring kind of song. So that section there like fit very well, even though stylistically it may have been, different than what came before and what came after. In that quiet buildup, it actually works really well. Let's get to the lyrics really quick. Just take a pebble and cast it to the sea, then watch the ripples that unfold into me. My face spills so gently into your eyes, disturbing the waters of our lives. So I like the lyrics, and to be honest, I know it's weird and I don't know exactly why, but even the title of the song, Take a Pebble, gets my interest. Like, take a pebble and do what? What are you going to do with it? You have it in your hand. What does it mean? And he says to cast it into the sea and watch the ripples unfold into me. So maybe this represents someone doing something, and that rippling effect, having an effect on another person. That person doesn't even have to be close to you, because the ripples of that effect will eventually reach you. Shreds of our memories are lying on your grass. Wounded words of laughter are graveyards of the past. That's strong. That's strong. Photographs are gray and torn, scattered in your fields. Letters of your memories are not real. Disturbing the waters of our lives. See, that's what I find interesting. I wonder what this song was about and who hurt him. Because I feel like those last lines are very telling. Disturbing the waters of our lives. So whatever this rock that was cast into this figurative pond, into their lives, disturbed their lives, disturbed their relationship. Whatever that stone was, whoever that person was that threw the stone, it really messed up the relationship. To the point that he says, like, photographs are torn and gray, scattered in your fields, wounded words and laughter in the graveyard of the past. I really like the way he describes how a person's actions don't just affect themselves and don't just affect the people close to you, but the effects can ripple out to other people. This was a good song. I like it. I'm gonna have to give it another listen, absolutely. But it was fantastic. This is like a nice Friday night after work, which is right now, kind of listen. But guys, tell me what you thought of this song. You can join me on Twitter. You can join me in the comments down below. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.